Oh, so we did fight some fungus creatures, fungus infected, and then Ice Rose fought some actual fungus creatures.
Excellent.
I mean, I tried to. Mara stopped me from killing them.
Well, they seemed like locals and not like demons, so.
I mean, how do you know? I rolled like a 2 on insight.
Yeah.
Because they looked way different from the other mushrooms.
Okay, not all mushrooms will look alike. The mushroom people.
I
that
know,
we
that's what
fought
I'm
did
saying.
not
They were
look
completely
alike.
different mushrooms.
No.
Not the mushrooms that we're fighting.
Wait till you
These
see
had
the
like mushrooms for heads. And they had big kind eyes. Well, their eyes were more scared.
Big kind eyes.
Basically, Stella. I almost killed this very cute toad from Mario looking creature.
Mhm.
Button.
That behaved like that had echolali. I kept saying its own name, like a Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah, so going back a couple weeks, you guys fought 4 humanoids of different types that were infected and possessed by this mind-controlling fungus. You banished the Gith back to its home plane, but allowed it to return at the last moment to slay it. There was a old monk who was by far the most far gone, and Ice Rose slayed him with the
right
knife.
Oh yeah, I have him in my knife now. That's what you missed. I did not have Stella stopping me.
And there were a couple more. There was a paladin and a I think the Gith was a rogue. I can't remember what the other one was. But there were
cleric. There's a cleric
yeah.
and a couple monks.
Yeah, the one you slayed was the monk. And then there was a there were 2 monks. The Gith was also a monk. So there was a monk, a paladin, and a cleric. 2 monks, a paladin, and a cleric.
And the pizza place?
Goodness. I'm just imagining that Stella was just T-posing in the background while all this was happening.
I think she was shooting.
To be fair, the person now does not want to leave the dagger.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of where we left off is after Ice shot this fungus creature, and it and its friend or owner or master, whatever relationship, they ran off. In not the complete opposite direction, but still a little bit off. They were probably like 30 degrees different of a direction that you were going in. And then Ice had a conversation with the man in the dagger. And then I think we left off with Ice. You were going to talk to Luthien on the last watch.
Do we have a Luthien?
We have a Luthien.
Wow, the whole gang's back together.
I'm still desperately trying to figure out which post-it note had my notes for that session because I had something scribbled for what I wanted to say to Luthien. But you can start since you just woke up from watch.
I can start? I thought you wanted to talk to me.
I do. So Ice approached you.
Did you say anything? Because I would just ask, like, what's up? If you're like, you walk over to me and stand there waiting for me to say something. Ask if you're okay.
Yeah. So, do you remember that guy that I stabbed with the dagger.
You might have to be more specific.
So I harvested the soul of one of the fungus people that we fought.
Okay.
Uh-huh. Um, he was talking to me earlier, and
What do you have to say?
it's interesting. It sounds like he was infected over time, somewhere around 300 years ago. And according to him, he came with a group of other people, and they were here for months before the infection slowly took them over. And it appears that this is airborne. I've heard of something
So
like this
we
before. It's called COVID.
interesting. I've not heard of that one. What? So we should probably go.
We are deep in these lands. Whichever way we go, I think we've already been breathing it in. If this is
Cool.
airborne, I don't know if we can treat this like any type of airborne infection and put a mask on, or if you have some sort of healing magic that can take care of this.
I might be able to try like a. Honestly, Roos is probably a better bet. He might be able to do like a restoration spell. That's probably. So I don't know that I can cure disease magically. I'd have to check.
Is this a disease?
I don't know, but we could try. Like, what else do? We find the source? Do we just
I
try
would
to keep our heads down and get through here as quick as we can, or
I would like to find the source and take care of it. Because I think anything we leave in our path is more that will join Khazgaroth to fight us when it comes to that fight. And this one appears to be able to turn our own against us.
yeah. Well, we've got to talk to everybody about this. They need to know.
Yeah,
They need to know.
yes. But
I mean, I'm with you. I think it's given what we know, like the little that we know, maybe trying to get rid of this thing at the source is our best bet, but it sounds just as risky, if not more, just trying to get out of here.
yeah, I know this is a tough decision. The bigger concern is if this is still around, we ourselves are at risk of turning, of being
Yeah, no, that's
infected.
what I'm saying. Yeah, I get it. Uh, we'll just have to talk about it in the morning and see what everybody wants to do.
Okay, you do you want to talk to this guy and she'll kind of gesture to the right knife?
I mean, I don't know. Do you think he has any information on it?
I asked him what I could, and that was the information I gave you. You know, it's all the
Yeah, then
information.
I don't know that I need to talk to him if
Oh
you've
yeah,
already got all the information from him.
there's another thing that he said that kind of concerns me just a little bit. I offered to release him, and he is very insistent on staying until I can guarantee where his soul goes to. And he kind of hinted that he might want to go back into someone else's body.
What? Look, I don't know how souls work or whatever, but is he hiding from something? What's the deal?
That
He
an
he wants to
interesting.
take over someone else's body?
That's a good question. I will think at the dagger. Halam, was that his name? I can't pronounce that.
Yeah, Halam.
Halam, are you running from someone?
No, not at all. I
Is it
have always been one to run towards, not away.
why are you so insistent on staying in here then?
Because if you release my soul, I'm just dead for good. Would anyone choose that fate given an alternative?
I know someone that did.
I was deprived of my body and my consciousness for 300 years. I'd like to have some semblance of a life to live out.
Being stuck in my dagger is a life that you want to live.
No, but as long as I am preserved here, there are chances we could find someone who could cure this condition.
Possible. Out of curiosity, what are you experiencing right now besides speaking to me?
It is almost overwhelming to have consciousness return after so long. I'm inundated by my own thoughts, and I get some glimpses of what's going on around me. It helps when you focus. I get a better sense of where we're at.
So I can channel your perception.
Sort of. When you speak to me, it helps.
Can you see, hear other things when I speak to you?
I can sense a holiness around the safety of a sanctuary. I can feel other souls around.
How many?
It's hard to tell. There's a few, 3, 4, 5, somewhere around there. It's very faint.
Can you hear anything?
I can hear you.
Oh, that's fair. And instead of thinking I will speak out loud, can you hear me now? That answers that question.
I'm thinking about it. Because in order to speak, you still have to think, but it's not like it can detect thoughts. Let me. Yeah, you don't get a response from him on that.
Okay. Okay. That answers that question. I will convey all this information to Luthien.
I guess that makes sense, but where does he expect to find another body?
I shrug. I don't even. I mean,
Didn't get that far. That's fair.
yeah. Well,
Kind of a
but
heavy question, I guess.
yeah. Also, do you know how to transfer a soul into a body? Do you know how to
Not
transfer?
even a little bit.
Mm, okay.
So,
I mean,
just
I could look into it.
I just want to make sure that you've got the proper recollection of what he was talking about, and I know there's a whole bunch of stuff in our other campaign about
I know.
transferring of
Dowsing
souls.
rods.
But what he was talking about was someone who could potentially revive him without the need for his old body. So he wasn't he was
Resurrection.
yeah, he wasn't talking about possessing another's body like and being implanted in it. He was talking about like a true resurrection.
That makes
Okay. Well, that is pretty far above my pay grade, but I mean, how much do you want this? Like, we've met some people that could probably be of more help than I could.
He's waited 300 years. He can wait until he can wait.
Okay, I mean, yeah, we can look into it if that's what he wants.
Yeah,
I guess that gives us time to find out about what type of person he was before he got taken over.
yeah, that's the other thing that I was trying to figure out too. He seems pretty sincere so far, but time will tell.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how patient he is, I guess, at least.
Yeah, and I'll just think to Hulam. Let me get back to you on that. This isn't what you're asking for is not simple.
Oh, nothing never is, or nothing ever is. But I hope you can try. I don't know if we still have any allies here in the area, or if all have been cleared out.
It's been 300 years. Unless you had some longer living friends, probably not. Or if you have the name of an organization, an alliance, something. Found a couple of sentient mushrooms that did not seem like they were infected like you guys were.
Oh, the leshies? I don't think fungi would be able to be infected by another fungus in the same way. You found some that are still friendly.
Sorry, still friendly? Were they hostile?
Well, there's all types of fungi as there are all types of people. Initially we came here to save those who were being infected by this fungus, and unfortunately there were some who were a little overzealous in their attempts to purge it. But we were working on making headway. I don't know if that was successful or not.
I have no clue either. Do you have a name of an organization, alliance, guild, someone that I could follow up on if you're interested in your compatriots?
Give me just a second.
Why? Sorry, my kid's been doing that to me lately.
The Y phase.
Yeah,
Super fun.
he's in like the dad joke pun phase.
Oh no, that must kill you.
It's okay. That
I
ends
know
eventually.
it's like having Matthew in my house.
It ends eventually, but I don't know when. I'll tell you when.
Sometime
And
around
then he'll
40,
start up
maybe.
again. Yeah, and he'll start up again when he's like 30.
You'll get a brief moment where like he starts to cringe at himself, and then that will fade quickly.
Very quickly.
Um,
Can I insight him, by the way? I don't remember if I did this last session.
you did at multiple points. You can go ahead and roll an insight.
I just want to see how sincere he seems, but it's not bad.
Okay. So let me just shift into character. Well, I am a monk of the Luminary Order, but there were many who came to help from all walks of life. If you can find my order, they would probably be able to help me. As far as those who may be longer living, there was one gnome mycologist I know who was out here in this area who may still be alive 300 years later. He was rather eccentric, but maybe he's still around. His name was Grizzlewort.
Hey, wait.
I know. I think only Roos knows this, though.
I think I told everyone.
Did you?
Yeah, I think I said. Yeah, I did because I had the sending to them, and then I said they're going to see some guy named Grizzlewort, and then
Huh.
yeah, pretty sure I
Interesting.
communicated to everyone.
Okay, cool. If I know it, then I will say to Halam, the Lushies that we met had mentioned to one of my compatriots that they were going to see Grizzlewort. So they at least have some sort of connection with him, and it seems like he's still around. Was he friendly towards you and your group?
He was a character. I mean, he was friendly and aligned in the same goals and objectives, but as far as him being friendly, that might be a bit of a stretch. He was a character. He was kind of a recluse. I don't think he really had friends.
Okay. Well, that's someone for us to follow up with then. I will convey all of this to Luthien, including the Order of the Luminary and that Halam is from the Thunderlands. I personally don't think I would know anything of those things, but Luthien might.
Well, I know that if we're going to see a mycologist, Stella's going to be happy. Other than that, I don't know. Can I roll to see if I know fucking anything about mushrooms and
Yeah.
who any of these people are?
Yeah, that could be it would probably be a history to know if you know any of these orders. If you want to know about how much you know about fungus and mushrooms and stuff like that, that would be a nature or potentially a survival.
No, let's go with the orders. That's not bad.
Yay, Luthien!
I did it, guys.
Wrap it up. We're done. We're done.
Yeah. All right, see ya.
That was 0.5 over the expected value.
Oh my gosh,
Oh.
crushing it out here. I'm that meme of the guy that's like celebrating. He's like popping champagne and biting his medal, and then he's in like 17th place.
What's that guy like Wheeling or Wheeler or something that has like nat one that rolls like nat one 80% of the time?
Oh my god, I don't know.
I need to
That sounds
see it.
miserable.
Yeah, like it was on camera too. It's like nat one, nat one, nat one. It's like, how the fuck do you play?
Just embrace the suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, just lean into it.
Yeah.
So yeah, you'd be very familiar with the Thunderlands. It's right next to the Stormbreaker, where what was the name of the city? I think it was Thelanor. Prosperity's Rise.
Yes.
It was right next to that country. It's just a little bit northwest. It's mainly humans who live there. It is also coastal, but it's not quite as rich and wealthy as Prosperity's Rise. It's a bit more humble. The Luminaries you would know as not really reclusive, but just kind of they're like a holy order, and they are very strong in their beliefs, so they don't mix all that much with secular society. But they are you see missionaries for them in many cities across the land. They are very much embody kind of that idea of the monk living very modestly and dedicating their lives to service and charity and things like that. So generally a
Okay.
good cause, but maybe a little difficult to get along with.
I know a shit ton about this stuff. Holy cow. All right then. Yeah. So we should be able to find them at least, though. That doesn't sound like it'd be too much of a problem. They're a little bit stiff, apparently. Anyway, yeah, I'll just tell her. I'll tell Ice Rose everything that you just said, I guess.
Cool. Do you have any questions? Any other things you might want to ask him?
I mean, not really. As long as he understands that this is not a top priority, like I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah. And if he causes trouble about it, well, it's not too hard to get rid of him.
Yeah, yeah. I think you're definitely kind of holding the cards here. So, yeah, that's your thing. Guy in a right knife. Weird day. This day. Really strange day.
Yeah, I will say this is definitely a change in conversation from the last soul I had in here.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing. That was really scary. What are we doing? Oh my gosh. You ever try and count the number of times we've almost died?
Mm, no.
It's probably
Why?
best not to.
Why would we do that?
I don't know. It just seems like a comically large number at this point.
And yeah, I mean, if there's a reason to focus on that, then I'd be all for it. But and she kind of shrugs.
Yeah, I guess there's no reason.
I'm certainly not shied away from dying.
Well, yeah, that's the truth. It's just, I don't know. It's funny. I can't explain it. I don't know. I think it's funny.
Have you?
Have I ever tried to count the number of times we've almost died?
Yeah.
I've tried. I don't have that kind of focus.
What do you focus on, Luthien?
On a good day, as little as possible.
You turn a little robot-y for a second. I did not hear what you said.
Oh, I said on a good day, I focus on as little as possible.
You have to teach me how to do that sometime.
I'll give it a shot. I don't know.
I did
I
not
don't know.
catch what you said. Oh, I don't know.
No, I haven't really said anything. You know what? I think I'm just gonna have a drink and then go to sleep. This
Again?
oh yeah, this is in the morning, isn't it? I thought this was
This
still
is
at night.
what-
Oh gosh.
Well,
Yeah.
it's your last watch, so this is like between 6 and 8. So it's like
Okay.
sun's coming
Got
up.
you. Okay. I thought we were on the front of it. All right. Well then, you know what? Are you hungry? I'm hungry.
Sure. I've got some I found some mushrooms on the way here.
That's a good thing to focus on.
Should I share the pictures then, or do you want to?
Go ahead.
It's going to be a bad thing to focus on, isn't it?
Which mushroom did I find? This one. This is what you will see Ice pull out and start cooking.
Can't wait. Oh, perfect. What does that taste like? I've never had them before.
She kind of shrugs. It's edible. I mean, look around you. We don't really have much choice.
Guess that's fair. I've got rations. I feel like hardtack is probably favorable to that nonsense. But whatever. You know what? Why not? Have you ever lived if you've not eaten fungus that looks like it probably should kill you?
At least this one actually isn't trying to kill us.
Well, yet. I don't know. Give it time. It's early.
It's edible. I've eaten these before.
All right.
Do I need to roll for flavor?
Yeah.
What do I roll? How bad does this taste?
Roll me a D100.
Oh God! I turned into a potted plant.
It's okay. Like, it's not offensive, but it's also not good. It's like it's neutral and spongy.
Honestly, it's better than what I was expecting. So, well done.
Sounds like a mushroom.
Thanks for breakfast.
That's what the party wakes up to. The smell of this cooking. Oh, can I check if what's its name laid an egg? Nugget.
Oh,
Nugget. I was wondering what the hell you were talking about.
Roos, have we ruled has Nugget been laying eggs?
I don't think we ruled one way or the other. We did discuss that it's a possibility. And then I was at one point I did buy that cage that was going to go in the back of the Auroch that Nugget was going to like live in.
Yeah.
But I don't know if we ever actually picked that up.
I think you had it. Because you guys left to the tower and then you came back to
yeah.
But
we don't have our mounts here, do we?
Yes, you do.
Oh, then yes, then I would have a cage, and I'm assuming in that cage I'd have hay and things like a layer. Whether or not Nugget's laying eggs or not is is something I'm not sure of. That's up.
So
That's up to you.
So I have rolled, and she would be laying eggs. Let's see if she laid today. She laid 2 eggs.
Wow,
Cool. I'm gonna cook them.
sounds good. Roost does not eat. Roost does not eat eggs unless he has to, because he's technically vegetarian. So he's going to just eat his nuts, and he'll try the mushrooms.
Wait, eggs are vegetarian. They're not
Mhm.
vegan.
I guess that's true, but he's just not going to eat the eggs unless he has to, and he doesn't have to yet. There's other food options.
That's fair. We've got creepy mushrooms.
All right, so you're all coming awake, and Ice Rose is cooking up some eggs and creepy mushrooms. A nice vegetarian breakfast, for once. I guess that's what happens when you're when the country has no animals or
Wait,
very few demons.
I actually think I might still have some like antelope meat or something like that. It's been a long time since we played. Oh, I have deer meat. Okay, I'll cook some deer meat too.
Mm.
Okay, no longer vegetarian. All right. Anything you guys would like to talk about before? Well, I guess you should probably decide where you're going from here.
As I mentioned, I know we have a few options, but we do have that gentleman Grimswort.
Grizzlewort.
Yeah, Grizzlewort. Other than that, I'm up to whatever you guys want to do. I've been enjoying the trip so far. A little bit of danger here and there, but
Oh, I will share everything that Halam told me and what Luffy and I discussed.
interesting. Well, that means that Grizzlewort is older than me, which is rare. So I will enjoy meeting them.
How old is Roos?
Roos is. Let me get the actual age for you.
He's like 1,000 years old.
No, they don't live that. Roos
He's
is
like
which?
ancient.
Roos is. Geez, Louise, where is this? Where do I find this information?
I'm trying to remember how old Ice is too. Like, Ice might be older than Roos.
Honestly, where is this on my sheet?
It
Not features,
should be under description.
features and traits.
If you put it there.
Approximately. Oh, there we go. Okay. He is 350 years old. So actually, Grizzlewort may not be older than him. It depends on how old Grizzlewort was when Grizzlewort met your captured soul. And for reference, Loxodons live to be around 400. So Roos is towards the end of his age.
Your Captured Soul sounds like an emo album.
Your captured soul.
I think Ice is 150, so Roos is older than her. But yeah,
We should
share everything with the party, and then if pull out the mirror and look for Grizzlewort.
You are not familiar with Grizzlewort? I know I've let you roll on people you're not familiar with before, but you've at least had like some sort of description of them. So if you want to do it, there's chances it could go sideways.
Sure,
There-
why not?
Okay. Roll me a D100. Okay. All right. You see a portly gnome. So he's got kind of a little bit of a beer belly. He's very short and stocky. He has a hat that is really well worn, and there's like fungus growing off of it, kind of patching in the holes. He's got like a pair of overalls, and he's got all kinds of like vials sticking out of it, and like a little trowel in his waistband. And he is hanging out with the fungus leshy that you had seen yell at you for shooting Button. The fungus leshy looks like he's quite a bit older than how you saw him before, but they're in a little campsite with a cabin in the background, and there are all kinds of raised planter beds with different fungi growing out of them on different mediums. There's like some gourds that they're like taking over and apparently feasting off of, and the forest around looks like it's in better shape than this one here currently is.
Does it look familiar? Like, do I recognize, I guess, region, the surrounding flora?
It looks like it probably grew out of what is currently here. So currently, if this is a vision of the future, it looks like it might be on track for something better to happen here.
Okay. And I will have the mirror, like, I will not keep it a secret that that's what I'm looking for. But that's all the information that I convey to the party.
He sounds like a character from Animal Crossing. Overalls and a vinyl.
Mhm.
or overalls with vials sticking out. Like, I guess we know he's friendly now. I can communicate with the gentleman that we came across yesterday. That might help us find our way.
We don't know that he's friendly to us. He was working with these guys 300 years ago. A lot can happen in 300 years.
Oh, there's nothing. I don't feel like he could do anything to hurt us. Really, I feel like we're stronger than him. Probably. Just proceed with caution, and we should be fine.
Ice shrugs. Do we have opinions from other party members?
Nope.
I mean, we're in a weird land, and I don't know, seems like a guy to talk to. And if he's, I mean, just we'll proceed with caution. I mean, what other leads do we have at the moment?
Good point.
Are you
None that I
guys
know
on,
of.
are you guys on board with taking out the what was her name? Mushroom Queen. Zugmoy?
Yeah. I mean, it'd be good practice, I guess.
And it'd be great to not turn into a weird fungal slave.
Yeah,
Like, that'd be pretty
too.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really want to wake up tomorrow and then my hair's like mushy, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate that description. Thank you.
You're
Mushy
welcome.
hair.
I was looking at that horrid mushroom that's in the chat. gooey hair. Disgusting.
I looked up a whole bunch of stuff because class was really fucking boring, and I found the weirdest fucking mushrooms ever. So we're gonna be eating some weird mushrooms.
Excellent.
Can't wait.
Love that for us.
So, were you going to do ascending to
Oh, I
the
can.
Leshy?
Yeah, that's the I will cast sending, and I will say. Oh wait, actually, I first ask. What is the name of the soul in your knife, your dagger?
Kalam.
Halam. Okay.
Yes.
Halam. Alrighty, I will give myself the benefit of a long rest first, so that I have sending to send, and then I will send ascending, and I will say, "Hello again. We are headed your way with a former colleague of Grizzlewart's named Halam. Though he is not, as Grizzlewart would remember, we hope to see you soon, and we'll."
I think after Hope.
Oh, that was it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I lost count. Ran out of fingers.
Needed your sixth hand. Oh, you're coming here to Grizzlewarts? Just please be nice. It's a sanctuary of sorts. I guess old friends are welcome.
All right. I will tell everyone what he just said. Before I respond to him, I'll say, I suppose he says to be nice. I'm assuming that means to that buttony mushroom. And then, Halam, is there anything that we should say, or that you'd like to say to Grizzlewort before we arrive? I would ask that to Ice Rose, obviously, because Halam can't hear me.
Yeah, I'll ask Kalam.
I guess just make sure you're respectful of his space. He's got boundary issues.
Can you elaborate on that?
He,
Like, don't touch his stuff?
yeah, he will let you in his space, but like, don't sit down unless he invites you to. Definitely don't take anything from his gardens. He is possessive, I guess I'd say.
Interesting.
Okay. We'll convey all of this to the party.
All right. I'll send one more sending just quickly, and I will say, sorry, I was going to cast it before I forget. Gosh dang it. Where'd you go? Page? There you are. Sending cast again.
Good
And,
directions from them.
I will say, understood. Halam has told us about Grizzlewart's sanctuary and preferences on respecting the space. I had to think of a way to say that diligently or nicely. Also, we will not threaten or hurt anyone, including Button. That's all.
You better not. He's still healing.
Alrighty. I would just say, do we know where we're going? Or I'll doing character. So are we? We know the direction about where we're headed. Do we need any more information than that, or are we all comfortable just heading that way with what we know?
We would probably need some direction
Okay.
and or instructions.
Does your friend know how to get there from where we are now? Or your captured soul?
I will ask Kalam.
Oh, well.
Well,
Sorry, did you want to ask him, or were you just
actually,
asking?
it's been 300 years. Can we just ask them to give us directions?
Yeah. Yeah. How far have we traveled from where we saw them?
You traveled about a half a day.
Which direction?
You were heading southeast. They were heading due south. So if they're already there, you would know that you probably have to go southwest from here.
Mhm.
But exactly how to orient that, you could possibly need some guidance on.
Yep. I will cast sending once again, and I will say, we headed south, east, while you headed south. We're probably not too far away. However, can you help us by pointing us the right way? I think that was exactly 25. Instant replay, referee.
I was actually thinking about the answer and not counting. But that
It was
sounded
exactly
about right.
25.
Okay. DM buffering.
We could also just shortcut all of this and say we get general directions that we start walking in.
Yeah, I mean, you already have the general directions, though, so I'm trying to figure out what landmarks they'd be able to give to you without giving away too much of their location to creatures they don't want there. They're native to here, so I think they would be able to point out some landmarks. Yeah, they describe like the geography a little bit, and then this one really weird tree that's still standing where most of them are fallen, and tell you to go, from there X amount further. So yeah, they could give you some general directions. They'd also warn you to stay on the trail, but watch out for traps. Don't step on patches of leaves, anything like that. Watch for tripwires.
That is all very good information. I will not respond back to him because I want to save my spells, but I will tell the group that I will say he said that there was, and correct me if I'm wrong, only God that matters, but there were specific landmarks around trees, one that has not fallen, a bunch that have fallen, whatever the specifics were, and then also not to watch out for traps, specifically like not to step on big piles of leaves or things like that. So I guess tread lightly might be the best advice for our upcoming journey.
Cool. So does that give us advantage on our tracking to travel?
I'd say that the directions are robust enough. I mean, you talked to someone who gave you step by step that it would be easy enough to navigate. But you'd need to be on the lookout for traps and such like that while you're on the way. So those would be I guess you'd need to pick kind of marching order who's going point, and you could do group perception checks, or you could have the point person do a perception or investigation as they're going.
What do you guys think?
Well, I'm not. I should not be point. I'm quite loud, big, and
I
not
think
particularly good.
I
Yeah, I
can
think we-
make us pretty quiet too.
I was hoping you'd volunteer, Stella.
Yep. That is the plan. And also, I'm happy to try to navigate. This is like a weird kind of fucked up forest, so I'm somewhat familiar.
Well, I think how we were doing it is I was giving you advantage.
Perfect.
But,
That works.
yeah. By helping.
Yeah, so I think you have enough directions to get you there, but you'd need to do perception or investigation for traps.
Cool. I will do perception. Also pass without a trace.
Okay. And with Ice's help, you could have advantage on the perception. Okay. As you're going down, you're able to you see a number of like leaf piles that you can tell are clearly they're like covering a trap door with a pit with spikes and stuff at the bottom of it. As you're going, you find one of them that's been triggered, and there's a creature at the bottom of it that is not necessarily decomposing, but it's being completely consumed by fungus. And the sticks are like broken in and the leaves are falling on it.
Can I set it on fire?
If you'd like to.
Yeah. Throw like a burning torch in there or something like that.
Okay.
Just want to get rid of any remaining things.
Okay. Yeah, you can drop a torch in there. If you were just like trying to light it on fire, it might be difficult, but the torch has a fuel on it that keeps the flame concentrated there, and it would eventually catch all the spikes, and the fungus would almost start to bleed out moisture before starting to writhe and darken and catch fire itself.
It was alive?
Fungus is alive.
Okay. I'm glad I did that then.
Wait, so real quick before, being one that also is from foresty area, and like, okay, basically, do we need to worry about this catching fire and starting a forest fire, or are we okay to move on?
You might want to clear stuff around from
Yeah,
the
that's what I was
top,
thinking,
so that the fire stays combined to the pit. There's not like a whole bunch of ash going up that you have to worry about coming back down. So as long as you clear out probably 6 to 10 feet of leaves and sticks and other debris, you'd feel pretty comfortable.
Yeah, Roos would do that while the fire is going and hum a song while he does it. A little old Loxodon nursery rhyme about, being the only one who can prevent forest fires.
Oh god.
With
Smokey the
a-
elephant?
That's what I was picturing, a shirtless elephant holding what does he hold? Like a shovel or something?
Yeah. A pickaxe, I think.
Pickaxe.
Yeah. Oh god. Can I also just look for tracks Faithing Undead?
Yeah. That would be a survival at advantage. So you can sense tracks in this area, like the creature that you saw in the pit. You've encountered these in this area before, and they're not necessarily fiends themselves, but the corruption that they carry has some sort of fiendish nature to it. So you can feel this kind of lingering corruption through the space, but it seems to be fading as you get closer and closer to the end that these directions are leading you.
Interesting. I will not share that with the party.
Are we looking, Stella? Are we going to die?
I think we'll be okay. It's still weird, and there's still fungus. So, yeah, no, doing great.
And as you're talking, you notice a tripwire ahead of you that you can either point out to the party or just get you all to step over.
And there's a tripwire right there. So we're just gonna go this way and we'll walk around it. So again, doing great. You guys are doing great.
You try to walk around and you find another tripwire.
Did
Okay,
they tell
maybe
you?
not that way.
They tell you who set the traps? Was it them?
That's a good question. They did not say. I guess we can ask when we get there, unless you really need me to send it. Just trying to save spells since I don't know what's coming up.
That's fair. I was just wondering if we should be dismantling these or leaving them.
Oh, that's a good question. Well, you didn't say to dismantle them, and so I feel like they probably set them up. But I feel like he would have told us to dismantle them if we needed to. Maybe not. Maybe you wouldn't have thought of that. That's a good point.
I mean, if we are smart enough to go around them, then we should just go around, go
Yeah,
over.
true. It does also give us some protection behind us as well. So
Yeah, that
Yeah.
one.
Okay. Just a thought.
it's a good thought.
All right, let's just keep on moving.
Only you can prevent
Going
forest fire.
around or over traps as we encounter them.
Yeah, with your 24, you're able to find the traps. Like they are they're obscured slightly, but to someone who's looking for them purposefully and trained, they're not very difficult to find. They're not overly camouflaged. You would assume they're not trying to catch something that is super intelligent, because they would be very easy to spot to anyone who's remotely aware.
He says right before we get trapped by one.
Before we get murdered.
Everyone roll to see how well you follow Stella. No, she's able to guide you comfortably through this series of booby traps. And you'll notice as you're going by that there are some where there's like snares to lift things up. There's these pit traps. There's like kind of Ewok traps where like the logs come down to like smash you.
Just out of curiosity for one of the snares, can I look at it just to see if I can ascertain what kind of size creature these are intended for?
Yeah. Do you have proficiency in traps, or
I
do you want to
don't.
just
I'm
okay? Just
just
go
a
ahead and roll a
survivalist.
survival.
I just know forests. I just want to see if it wants to capture something like our size or smaller or bigger.
I'm trying to find a GIF for Ice Rose.
It can wait. I
This is important.
It's like that's a Star Wars thing, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
they're the little teddy bear guys.
I don't. Teddy bear?
Yeah, they look like little teddy bears.
I can at least find you an Ewok.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah.
Oh.
Dan has more violence. Mine is cuter. Self-inflicted violence, but still.
Yeah, they're definitely the snare seems to be like it's for a medium-sized creature, but then this one that had the big like logs that come down and smash, they might be on the lookout for bigger things as well. So there's a variety of traps with different triggers and different mechanisms. You don't know if it's development over time or if they're protecting against a variety, but there seems to be a mix of tactics employed.
Okay. Cool. We will move on.
Okay. So as you go, the forest seems to be a little more it seems to be healthier here. It's not that it hasn't been affected by the fungus that's kind of eaten away at it, but you get the sense that the fungus has progressed further and kind of mulched everything, and there is new growth sprouting through and starting to grow in this area as you get through these multiple rows of traps to the point where you can see a little grove ahead of new trees. And I say new because this is but it's been the course of, as you can assume from Halam, a few hundred years. So they're not massive trees, but they are also not like tiny 1-inch thick things. They're fairly reasonably sized trees. Some of them a couple feet across, some of them just a foot across. But there's this grove ahead, and you can see a little cabin next to it.
Does it look like the cabin in the mirror?
It does. Slightly less developed, but it does look like it.
Anyone outside?
As you look around, I'm not going to have you roll perception. It'll just take time as you are approaching. You'll have a hard time spotting him because he's very short. But you will notice a little gnome going around from one planter box to another, doing some work. And you'll notice the fungus leshy sitting. It looks like a fire circle, but there's no fire going. He's just kind of relaxed there in a little wooden chair that doesn't necessarily look like it was crafted as much as grown out of the ground. Small plants that were woven as they emerged from the surface, kind of woven into a recliner type chair.
I shoot him. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Please stop killing things. We need him.
Okay, let me build a battle map real quick.
That might actually get Roos to rage quit.
Yeah.
I
Trying to kill
told you
the
that.
mushroom people.
I told them
I-
we wouldn't attack.
I would get disintegrated.
Oh, you're right. I have the ability to do that. Yeah,
Yes,
probably.
you do.
Iceros moves from a demon hater to genocide real fast. of mushroom people specifically.
I mean-
mushrooms are delicious. I'm just saying.
We know she's genocidal against demons. We didn't know she was genocidal against mushrooms.
Well, that's because
New
you
fear
make mushrooms
unlocked.
demons. That's what happens when you turn mushrooms into demons.
Are they?
Yes. Anyways, I will let someone else do the approaching since I.
I guess
Oh,
it probably makes
okay.
sense for me since I've been talking to him. I'll approach when we get close enough, and I will say, "Hello, we've thank you for your directions. It's great to see you again. We apologize for our rather unfortunate meeting the first time, but we had just come from a very challenging situation with some fungus, and well, we've learned our lesson. So thank you so much for the directions here. We are a group of travelers helping out where and when we can. I'm
Well-
Roos, and I'll let other people introduce themselves. I'm quite interested in meeting Grizzlewort. It sounds like he and I may be peers around the same age. I'm curious to see if we are.
Well, we haven't really met, but I'm Spore Stoodle. But Button's around here, but he's hiding. So please leave him be.
Understandable.
Grizzlewort's over there by his experiments, growths. I don't know what you call that. He's working. You can go talk to him.
Okay.
Yeah, in time,
so-
in time. Yes, mhm.
So you're Roos.
Correct. Yes.
Who's the one who shot Button?
That is our relative security, night watch, as it were, Ice Rose. I'll let her introduce herself.
I will raise my hand.
With or without a sword in it.
Well, already raised.
You guys know me so well. Yeah, no sword. Just kind of raise a hand.
Russo will actually say she doesn't have a sword with her, which means she likes you. So this is good.
Sorry about that.
He's
This
like
is-
kind of sitting up in the recliner, and he like leans his elbows on his knees, and he's just like, "Be nice to Button."
What does Button like?
Do you have any old banana peels?
No.
No, I have some nuts. Would
have nuts?
Button like
Oh, yeah.
nuts? I have the shells from the nuts still. Would that be helpful?
Not immediately, but we could add them to the mulch pile. It's right over there.
Sure. I scurry over and I start to dissect through my bag of nuts to find some shells.
So that's a little bit of ways, and as you're doing that, you can see this little red mushroom cap It's kind of like hiding behind a tree. It's not hiding very well, but it seems like Button's kind of keeping an eye on you, but he's kind of hiding behind the tree.
Hi, I'm just donating some shells to the mulch pile.
When you say hi, he tucks behind and
Oh,
just kind of stays out of sight.
Okay. And I'll go back to the group.
All right. As you guys are talking to Spore Stoodle, Grizzlewalt, he kind of hobbles over. Even for gnome years, he's kind of old. He's got like a little walking stick. Spore Stoodle. I put it in the campaign chat. Grizzlewort hobbles over. Oh, so you're the ones he said was coming? You shot Button?
Yes. Well, those are both true statements, correct? However, it was a misunderstanding, and we hope to have that resolved. But yes, we are here, and we also have contact with a former colleague, possibly friend of yours.
Yes. Where is he? Where has he been?
Well, that is a difficult answer that I will let. I'll kind of look at Luthien while I'm also saying the name Ice Rose, and also look at Stella in that way of kind of like somebody else say this, help her say things, so that like. But he's Ice Rose has him in a way. Perhaps those who are better familiar with. I'll let them speak.
He hobbles over to Luthien. So you're Ice
No,
Rose?
this is
Oh no,
no.
that's Ice Rose's friend.
Well,
That's
he
Luthien.
looked over
Oh.
here.
Well, Luthien's good at talking. Ice Rose
Luthien's
actually.
not good at talking.
We're all very good at talking, and Ice Rose has your friend currently in a magical object. His soul specifically.
Oh, so he's not like shrunken.
No, like just his spirit. But you could maybe talk to him. I don't know if you can talk to him directly or if Ice Rose has to mediate. Ice Rose, will you please?
What? Where is he?
He's in a knife.
How long
let's
have
just
you been
show him.
here? How long?
Yeah.
Let's just show him.
Yeah.
I was told not to take weapons out.
So
I will set that with a deadpan face.
we're taking the weapon out, but just it's not too carefully. With two hands.
The weapon contains the soul of your friend, and because
Yes.
he had been taken over by what I am assuming is the nemesis of all of us, and now he's been freed, and he mentioned you, and one thing led to another, and here we are. He also said that perhaps you or people you're associated with might be able to help him, I believe. But that's all I can say. I'll let Ice Rose. Just the weapon's not going to be used in any lethal way. Don't worry, Button.
Was he freed before you put him in there?
He was
Or
infected.
Yes. I feared as much, and I figured out as much. But were you able to cure him?
No.
Oh.
We were busy trying not to die by their hands.
Well,
So he was
seems nice enough as a soul. Like, yeah.
And I will
So-
describe the other companions just in case he knew them. Or the other, like the Githyanki and the other people that we killed.
I don't know them as well, but I've heard of them. Yes, others who have come to help and fallen in turn. But this is interesting. His soul was still intact. That
Yes.
answers
And-
some questions. Can I speak to him?
You would have to do that through me. He had mentioned that he had some semblance of consciousness while he was infected, but not much.
Interesting. I've never been able to speak to someone after infection. This is very new. Out of hundreds of years of research, this is a first. I've wondered whether the soul remains, whether it wouldn't be best just to destroy them all, but I guess, well, now it's simpler in a way, but much more complicated, and we have to find a cure. We can't just eradicate this.
Where did this? What can you tell us about this infection? Like, what is the source? Is there a way to just end this?
Well, it arose just before Zugdmoy came to prominence here. So I assume it was her first incursion. She seems to have some sort of control over all who are infected. As to how directly, I guess the persistence of the soul complicates things, because they're not merely puppets or husks, as we thought. They might still all contain souls. Interesting.
How did you escape infection?
Well, I mean, that's kind of the reason I'm here. I've studied fungal infections for my whole life. Not just fungal infections, but fungi in general. I am an esteemed mycologist. I'm surprised you haven't heard of me as you're coming here.
Oh, we've heard of you. We've definitely heard of you.
Well, it's pretty simple, actually. You just ingest the spores of benign fungi, and they kind of plug it up. So there's nowhere for this one to take hold.
Interesting. So we don't necessarily have to be. We're not at risk for potentially catching any of this, of these issues if we just do as you have done, and we'll be safe.
You are at risk unless you don't.
I see.
I can help treat you.
Insight check.
Go ahead.
Someone else, please roll. I have +0 to this. I can't be the
I'll roll
only one.
insight on that. Yeah, I'll roll insight because that matters to me. Did that roll?
Yeah,
23.
that's
Yeah.
much better insight than mine.
He is simplifying things where he knows you're not going to get it if he goes into all the details, and he doesn't really want to go into all the details. But yes, he's being earnest. Like, he has a treatment that he can give to you or apply to you to make it so that this can't get in your brain.
We missed a perfect opportunity for me to say something like, "Oh, explain it to me like I'm 250." But I didn't. So okay, great. Thank you. Well, that's great to know. That was quite puts my mind at ease. So how long have you lived here, Mr. Grizzlewort?
About 350 years, somewhere around there.
Oh, that quite interesting. And before that, where did you live and how long?
Well, I studied in Darwinham originally, but
Really? Oh, well, okay. Yeah.
yeah, there wasn't that much there for me.
Mhm.
It's not. I mean, it's a lively place, but there's not much life other
Yeah,
than.
I spent many, many, many years in Darwinham as well. Interesting. I'm 350 years old myself, so you're a bit older than me. But perhaps we
Well,
know.
it's not a competition.
Oh, of course, no. I mean, yeah, we've both at this point we've both won, right? If we've gotten this far, but maybe we know some similar people. We'll have to, if we have time, maybe we can discuss days in Darwinium and other areas around the continent. It's very rare that I meet someone of my age or elder, and it's quite exciting for me.
Well, it's good to know that we're not gonna suddenly become zombie-like.
Yeah, that would be
Hopefully.
unfortunate.
Yeah, we got some things to do. Like, well, we really want to kill Asgaroth, but we also understand that you have your own problem with the, what is her name? The mushroom demon lady. Rot.
Zuntmoy?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, the Lady of Rot. It's a very ostentatious title, but
Yeah. So, like, where does she hang out? Where does she live?
um, I haven't found necessarily a lair. She wanders through the land almost. She corrupts it as she goes, seeking out any life and trying to purge it. I've been able to evade her for quite a while, but if you head out, I can't imagine it will be long before she finds her way to you. Or maybe you can track her and find where she goes, if she goes. I'd
Well,
probably follow the corruption.
yeah. Is there like a part of the territory around here that she hasn't quite made rotten or
Oh, this. Well, I mean, it's rotten, but it's coming back to life now. Um,
ah. So she may come back to like make sure to like take care of this maybe?
yeah, I've kept her at bay, and I keep a lookout for her. It because so because everything I'm growing is fungus. I don't think it's on her radar. Well, I'm growing things out of the fungus, but there's more fungus here than there is elsewhere. So she does. I don't know.
Well,
If you
we're
could,
just here
if,
to ask random questions. Hmm. So we were able to like create our own little, either we just wander around and follow the corruption to her, or if there's something we can do to like attract her to a certain place.
can you create a tree?
Me? No. maybe somebody else. I look at our magic users.
We
That's
create a
interesting.
tree.
That's
Yeah.
the, that's
like
the
grow
question he asked.
plants. Does
Well-
it have to be a tree?
No, but I mean, if something that's natural and alive, she will come and try to make it unalive.
Question
just-
for the DM. If I make a sanctuary out of live wood, aka trees, would that
You'd
count?
have to find some wood, though.
No, I could just make the sanctuary with my spell. Can I use Temple of the Gods and make the material that it's made out of wood? Like
You'd
living
have
wood.
to share it. And let me
yeah.
read the text of the spell
You
because
don't have every spell memorized, Angie.
Don't you know when you become a DM, you just download the this D&D
There we go.
source.
there are some spells that I know like the back of my hand, but this is not one of those.
I'll be right back.
You make the choice of its appearance.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like a material choice.
Yeah, I'd say you could make it look like wood.
But not
The temple is made from opaque magical force that extends into the ethereal plane.
Oh, okay.
So it wouldn't actually be made out of wood, but you could attempt to create the visage of it.
I don't think that's going to attract the fungus, to be honest.
Yeah.
But we could ask them if only we knew a mic. What are they called? Mycologists.
Yeah.
If only I knew one, I'd ask him a question like, "Well, I can make a temple that's made out that has the appearance of wood, but I'm assuming that wouldn't work for fungus, right? They're attracted to the actual live wood."
Yeah, I don't think they'd be keen on that.
Yeah. Well,
And so what he was going to say when you were talking about growing a tree, well, that's one way to create a tree, but you'd have to wait around for quite a while.
that is true. Well,
Does Mara or Luthien have anything?
yeah, I'm kind of hoping that one of them has a plan.
Yeah, I don't. I thought about it. I don't really know how to make a tree. I could maybe try to call a tree god, but that's the best I can do.
Could you? Do you guys have like? Can you guess what's that thing where you can ask for a favor from your patron?
I mean, I could.
Divine intervention.
She's
Well, I
not
don't really-
actually a cleric.
I don't really have that. I just faked it that one time because I'm really good at praying.
Well, we have a cleric.
We have a cleric that doesn't have a deity, or at least doesn't know that he has a deity. Let me check. I don't think I have access to anything that can produce a tree.
I can just make
I'm more
the
like a
illusion
druid.
one.
Does anyone have druid craft?
Nope.
No, because Naya got bored with us and left.
Oh.
I can locate plants. If my spells were prepared.
You could try to predict where she might be going next.
It's true.
Okay, I'm gonna be AFK for just a second. And by just a second, I mean about 30 seconds to a minute.
When he comes back, we have a tree magically.
We just bought one. We went to the market and bought a damn tree.
Yep. Checkmate, DM. We got a tree.
So, I mean, I can animate dead if we have a dead tree, I could make it an alive tree.
I think like it's attracted to like the source of life from a tree.
I can
I suspect.
pretend to be a tree.
Yeah,
About
I think-
this. Good as it
Lucian, I think
gets.
that might be the way. I think you might have the closest way there is
Yeah.
animating a dead, like, because there's plenty of dead trees around.
I can sacrifice some of my own life to channel into a tree.
Ooh.
Wait, what?
Don't
That's
worry
cool.
about it.
Don't worry about it. Luvian is just dropping. What's your backstory again?
It's fine.
Don't worry about it.
I also technically have access to a spell called motivational speech, which is just hilarious.
Could you motivate a tree back to life?
Back to life. I can cast Aura of Life. I could make myself a source of life, and it could come to kill me.
Wait, can you
Oh, that
cast it
would
on a
work.
tree?
That might work.
Oh, cool! I'm bait.
Yeah,
God
can
bait.
you cast
Cast it on somebody else. I'll be bait if you want me to.
Actually, God
Wait, can
bait's
you-
a pretty good band name.
Can you
Godbait is
cast
a good
Aura
band.
of Life on a tree on one of the dying trees and bring it back to life?
Let's find out. No, it is a self. Wait, it says. Oh, okay. Yeah, I have to cast it on myself.
And then you have to pick a creature, I think, for it to heal.
It's each non-hostile creature in the aura has resistance to necrotic damage, and yeah, it gets a bunch of other perks. All right, well that isn't gonna do it. I could channel my life into a tree.
What if we just
Let's
go
see.
out to a field, start cursing her name really, really loudly until she shows up to be like, "What the fuck, guys?"
Just chant her name 3 times.
Like
I
it might
can-
work.
God.
I can take on the characteristics of a tree for 1 minute.
I mean,
Don't think
I
that'll
could
work.
cast. I could cast commune and try to like directly communicate with this thing.
Just call it out. Just be like,
Fungi
"Hey,
lady?
It says you contact your deity or a divine proxy. Well, I guess that's a divine proxy to your deity. Never mind, it's got to
Yeah.
be. God damn it!
I mean, I can contact other plane and just call her out immediately and just be like, "Hey, show up, show up
Other
to the
plane,
parking lot at 3 o'clock."
I think she's here on this plane.
I mean, apparently
Well,
she's just walking around corrupting things, so
Well, Mara can create a demi-plane and go in the demi-plane, then cast contact other plane.
go into the demi-plane and then contact a tree on a different plane and then ask it to come here.
You know, it just says some other mysterious entity from another plane. Hold on, let me share the text. Does this
Can you
mean
get
they
one of those
have to
tree
be on
guys from
another
the
plane?
Can you get one of those tree guys from the Feywild to show up? Just a guy.
Yeah, it just says from another plane.
Like she's from another plane, but can I still just like call her,
Yo, bitch, what's up?
even if she's on the material plane, and just be like, "Hey, yo, meet us outside the 7-Eleven. We got a bone to pick with you."
It just says from another plane.
Okay, this is perfect. Well, worst comes to worst, I can try to call her. Worst case, I go crazy.
Well, we've done it before.
Oh, but
I mean, but
we
what was the thing about the transferring life or whatever that you mentioned?
yeah, what was that?
I
Lucian?
can't do it until tomorrow.
Well,
But
I don't really want to fight her today, but
well, I'm just saying. Here, let me tell you all about this as soon as I find the fucking display in VTT button. Holy cow! Why is there not a damn button for this?
DM gives us one simple task.
Because Button's
Make
hiding
tree.
behind a tree.
Look, in
Oh,
D&D there are no simple tasks.
I know.
yeah, we got to make this as complicated
like-
as possible.
Yeah, I was like, well, we just need to do it that we don't have.
Can our mushroom guy can't help us?
Are you asking him?
Yeah. I'll
Are you
just be like,
are you
hey,
asking the Leshy, or are you asking the mycologist?
mycologist. Hey, so if we, in theory, wanted to attract Our Lady of Rot to a certain area, are you able to revive or give life to a tree? It's
I've
okay if the
given life
answer is no.
to many trees, but it takes time. You
Ah,
can see
yeah. I
this
just
one
wanted.
here is about 200. This one's
Okay,
about
yeah.
100. It takes time.
Yeah, yeah. I just wanted to double check and make sure that, you know, in case you had a little extra magic or something helping you out.
Do you have a way to transport a tree?
Yes.
Probably.
Yeah, that's definitely within my realm. I could definitely transport a tree.
You could borrow a tree.
I mean, how big? Do you have like a bonsai? Do you have something smaller? That would be.
You have a bonsai. Now I feel like we're in the black market of trees. What's happening?
Maybe a young tree, a sapling, something. There's a limitation to what I can transport, but
I feel like
You said a whole
we're like
tree.
the dad on Christmas Day that needs to go find a fucking Christmas tree.
Yeah, like a 8-foot tree. We could manage an 8-foot tree.
yeah, just put it on top of the 3 wagons and we drive off.
Oh god.
Oh no. I'm so sorry that I bothered you with this question at all.
No,
Well,
I
you
think borrowing a tree is a great idea. We could definitely transport one. If it's small enough that I could carry it, and I can carry rather large things. I am a large creature, medium creature, I believe.
no bonsai trees, but you can see what I have. You could take a sapling with you, but I'm not sure that would do exactly what you're looking for.
she probably wouldn't,
Dan, is there any tree that's like medium, like that I could potentially carry? I mean, Roos can carry larger stuff. He has a feature. Let me see what that is.
Wait. Did any of you have a spell that can accelerate growth or something like that? Like age the
Not
tree?
specifically.
No.
No. I just take on the characteristics of a tree for a little bit. That's it.
I just have this
You just
image of
have really good
Stella.
posture.
I just have this image of Stella like holding branches in her hands and like arms out.
It's not. It's guardian of nature.
Yeah,
I will literally sprout leaves from my hair, and my skin will appear dark, bark.
Why have you never
Barky.
used this
Wow.
before? Just for fun. I feel like you should be using this all the time.
I'm gonna be honest, I forget that I have it, and also I only have 2 spell slots at 4th level, so
Oh, okay.
I'm like, I would rather keep those for like a cure wounds or something.
it is very powerful.
It is. I should use it more.
That's one of the core abilities of my ranger. It gives you advantage on all your attacks, which is kind of nuts.
True. I should use it. The Great Tree one is cool. You get temporary hit points and saving throws for Constitution or advantage. And any dexterity wisdom attacks are at advantage. And when I'm on the ground, then 15 feet of me is difficult terrain. So I'm a tree
Awesome.
man. So
Why
unless
haven't
other
you
trees would
used
find
this?
that, I keep forgetting that I have it. And then we're at the end of a battle and I'm like, oh, that'd be cool to use.
Yeah.
But yeah, unless other trees would find me inspiring, that's about all I can do.
God.
Maybe if we take the little sapling with us, it'll grow a little faster. Because I'm such a good example of a tree.
Look, I think I honestly think we just have to wander around and find her, or draw her to us.
Well, we have to quote follow the corruption.
You
Yeah.
guys have pitched a number of creative
Interesting
ideas that could potentially work. You can just call her out. You can try to track her. You can try to find trees to figure out where she might go. You can just wander around.
We can either follow the corruption to go find her, or we could follow the non-corruption to go see where she would go next.
Yeah. Also, important thing is we all need to be vaccinated first. How long does that how long until the vaccination takes root? By the way,
Oh. It's pretty quick, but you have to reapply it every now and then. Are you ready?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
no time like the present. Are there any side effects to taking this?
First off is probably a really big sneeze. Then
Okay.
for a day you'll be really stuffed up, and you might see things a little differently.
Mm.
You it might get a little weird, but it's part of the process. And then by the next day you should be good.
Okay, well, I guess no time like the present, right? We might as well do that before we fight her. Maybe we do that and take a day to think about a plan.
Okay.
Just one
good.
question. Do you happen to have any space drugs?
They are
Um,
space drugs, man. That's what we're injecting.
There are some fungi that can cause psychedelic experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I believe we have a jar of those actually. Actually, you might enjoy that, seeing what they are. We do have a leftover jar of some.
I never had any good experiences with those mushrooms, but you are welcome to have a little.
Oh, this is interesting. Can I see?
I believe Luthien, do you have those still, or Ice Rose, or who has those mushrooms?
Oh, I have them. Whoops.
I have them in my stomach.
I take out the
Oopsies.
little baggie that I stole from Luthien, or whatever they're in a jar.
They're in a jar
Hand it over.
with some
yeah, I
fluid
think
in
it's
there.
wine. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. Did you get this from Darwinum?
Yes, we did.
Yes, I believe we did.
I studied these very early on. These are actually one of the things that started my career. Have you tried them? There's
Yeah.
I guess you have. There's definitely some space in this jar.
Yes.
Yeah, the first time I dreamt about my village and it was crazy. I meditated the first time with that, and like the stuff that I saw was kind of right. And then the second time I imagined that I was going to be eaten and or spiders were crawling out of my body. So,
Same
Well,
thing.
So the first one, it told you some truth.
yeah.
Are you sure the second one doesn't have some truth to it?
What do you mean?
Oh no.
Oh, thank God.
No. They they tap into your subconscious. There, it's not like they tell you your fate or anything. So
Oh.
it might have unleashed some truths that you weren't ready to deal with the first time, and the second time it might be your fears at play. And
Spiders are pretty creepy.
yeah, so it gives you a good vector for how to strengthen yourself by overcoming those fears.
Okay.
Does this only apply to disturbing hallucinations?
Oh yeah, some people had great times.
It taps into different parts of the brain. What did you see that was good?
A horse, a really pretty horse.
Ah. Could that be your hopes? Or could it be memories?
Ice
I mean,
Rose
a horse is a
stone
horse,
face.
of course.
Oh god. Ice Rose is stone face and just shuts down.
Was it a horse you remember?
She just shrugs.
Was it the horse you rode in on? Sorry, I'm so sorry. guys.
Get out.
I'm gonna mute myself.
Well, I guess that's for you to think about.
Hmm.
But sometimes others can help you unlock things you're not ready to deal with.
So about this vaccination.
Ah, yes. You ready? If you're ready, come over here. And he'll hobble over to one of his raised beds, and he'll reach down, and he'll pull out a it's a large flat mushroom with a tiny stem. It's probably about 4 or 5 inches in diameter, and it's very thin. It's kind of a dark brown, and there's like a white powder growing on top of it. And he'll pick one and he'll raise it up. Who's ready?
I am. And Mara will step up.
Okay. We'll put this here under your nose, and he'll kind of cup it in his hands. Okay. And when I count to 3, breathe in real heavy, real heavy. 1, 2, 3, and he kind of claps his hands together. And there's this big, like, almost explosion of spores that kind of just bursts up under your face.
Mara will breathe in deeply.
All right. Keep breathing. Keep breathing. Hold it in. And you should be good. And like it like gets all up in your sinuses and stuff, and it's just like tickling up there. To roll a Constitution saving throw for me. This will be for how well you hold your composure. Okay. You don't have a big involuntary sneeze. You like hold it together really well. Ah, you took to it quite well. And he'll go around and he'll offer it up to each of the rest of you. Is everyone willing and ready to get this treatment?
Yeah.
He'll pluck a new one each time.
Well, I'm
Yeah,
quite
let's
nervous about.
snort some stuff.
I'll go last. I'm a bit
Snort
nervous.
some-
You know, I have a long nose, so.
Snort some white powder.
Yeah. The good
Oh,
stuff.
Okay. He'll administer one to Stella.
Do I get to make a con save?
Yes, if you'd like to. Okay,
Yeah.
you hold it together very well. Who's next up? I see Ice queuing up.
I'll do it.
Okay. Roll a con save. Okay, you hold it together really well. Wow, not a very sneezy bunch here. That's surprising.
Do I detect poison in my bloodstream?
You do not.
Okay.
You're focusing on your blood, trying to see if he has poisoned you or not. And you hear Silas let out a massive sneeze. That one of those that like it kind of shakes your body and you kind of like heave forward uncontrollably.
I will just look over.
Luthien as well let out a tremendous sneeze and heave forward. Roos, as you breathe this in, your sense of smell goes wild and then feels muted for a second as it works its way all the way up your trunk. You have to take a really big, massive breath in, and your belly expands. But eventually it all gets up there. And you maintain your composure through it, but it's not comfortable at all. The amount of distance this has to go and snake its way up there, you feel just like super congested.
Oh, this is going to be a very long day.
Well, it's the same length as any other day.
I would usually appreciate that sort of humor, but laughing hurts right now.
Do you have extras of this vaccine that we can take with us? Or I don't know if we will come back this way after we've taken care of Zogmoy. And we are heading up into, let's say, Cornwall.
Well, you need to pick it fresh. So if you're here for more than 2 weeks or so, you'll want to come back.
Okay.
Is there a source of flowing water, DM?
Flowing. Let's see. There wouldn't be like a river or anything here. But he would have an irrigation system for the trees where it's a pump that comes up, and it's not a lot of water because of all the moisture they get from this mulch that they're growing out of. But there's a place where it comes up kind of like a spigot before it gets filtered down into this distribution network. And that, I would say, is probably considered a source of flowing water, unless like it specifies a volume of it. But this would continually be getting pumped upwards.
No, I'm a little skeptical of doing that. Like any of making that my word of recall, just because if it stops, then the spell fails. So, never mind.
Okay.
And can we? I have a portable hole. Can this stay alive in the dark without oxygen, or with a limited source of oxygen?
I wouldn't count on it.
Worth a try. Well, we'll figure it out. Is there, if in case we come back this way, is there anything we can bring back for you that might help with a cure instead of a vaccine?
Well,
we could bring back a corrupted person or infected person.
I've captured and killed many of them in my pits, and nothing about what I've extracted from them over the years has helped in a vaccine. I'm curious to what will happen if Zugmoy is destroyed. I don't think it's going to be like with most undead and creatures like that, where the link is just broken. But if Halam maintained his soul in there, maybe the neural link will be freed. Maybe the soul will be able to regain some control. I'm not quite sure.
Eventually, I sensed a combination of undead, fiendish, fayish magic surrounding this infection.
If you
Or
can,
it sort of replicates what some of the magic in the Fae, at least.
if you kill Zugdmoy and bring her back, maybe I can learn something. Or if you find a lair, a source, a shrine, anything of hers. Unfortunately, it's not really safe for me to wander alone, so I haven't gotten out too far, other than things that Spore Stoodle has told me about.
You could come with us.
I think I need to stay here.
Okay.
You
Fair
could
enough.
take Spore Stoodle if you wanted to go. He knows the land, but I don't think you've built a good reputation with Button.
Probably not. I'll bring back some banana peels if I see any around here.
I haven't seen bananas around here. Quite a delicacy.
I have, and I will just share with him, I have a bunch of like dried flowers. Hibiscus, pea flower. Yep. I'll just share that with him. Because those came from around where the beach episode was.
Wow, very nice. They're pretty.
Cool. All right. You ready to go?
I would say so.
Well, are we any of us feeling the negative effects of the mushroom
mean-
treatment?
We have been traveling. We might want to stay
Oh.
the night.
As Roos starts to talk about that,
Oh no.
Oh god. I cannot believe you put COVID in this fucking game.
I didn't put COVID in the game.
Uh-huh.
Roos, roll a perception check.
Oh.
Mhm.
Keen smell. No, my smell's horrible right now. I'm clogged up. There we go. Oh my gosh.
As you're thinking about, he said that things might look strange. You're like looking around and everything looks really normal, but then Ice is like, "Oh, maybe we should go," and her face just kind of turns upside down.
Oh no.
Perhaps I should sit down and maybe we shouldn't go too soon. You just turn that frown upside down, Ice Rose.
He's like looking at your nose. Like he's not even looking in your eyes and
And
a
I'm
little
just
bit
like-
past your left ear.
A little crazy. I'm gonna go over here for a little bit and sit down. And drink
That sounds
some.
like a good idea. Would you like some nuts to snack on?
How am I feeling about this whole situation, Dan? How's Roos?
Things are just vaguely a little bit weird. It's not the same thing as like
Okay.
when you guys drink the mushroom juice, but
All right. Well, I think right now I'm not particularly hungry. Maybe some water and
Yeah, that's
a little
totally
rice.
fine.
Are you going to the spigot?
Feel like I should say no, but yes.
Or is Stella offering water? What's going on?
Yeah, I'm gonna go get some
Um,
water.
He'll go. I'll accompany him so he
Okay.
doesn't fall into the stream or something.
Roos is walking over to the water pump and he starts like putting his hands in and lifting it up and drinking a little bit of water. Stella, you roll a perception.
Ooh. Deception.
As he's drinking it, the water starts turning like a teal blue, like really bright, really rich, funky color.
Oh, that's some good water. That looks great and weird. I'm just mesmerized by it.
The water looks normal to me.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess maybe it's water is water. Yeah, I think you and I maybe. I wonder if everyone else is feeling this too. Cut to party.
Wonder what they're up to.
What are the other four of you doing? Who wants to roll a perception next?
I see Silas already. Oh no, that's Stella. I am trying to. I guess we don't have to roleplay this, but like be the go between Halam and Gristlewort.
Okay.
Keyword trying.
So Halam has a lot of questions about when he got infected, or Grizzlewort has questions for Halam about when he got infected, how he got infected, what the experience was like. And Halam's answers, he can say when and how, but as far as the experience during, he's talking very
Vague.
vaguely, because he doesn't remember all that much about it. And then
Should have stabbed all of them.
as you're trying to communicate back and forth, Grizzlewort starts sounding like the adults in Charlie Brown. I don't know if that means anything to you.
Oh,
Kind of like that. Where you're not really making out words, you're like getting, it sounds like they're underwater a little bit, but you're getting like tones and garbled.
Wonderful. That's exactly what I say to Halam then.
You mimic it back.
Yes.
Okay.
Whenever I hear.
And then he messages back and he's like, "Are you okay? You don't sound okay."
I'm fine, just saying what he told me to say to you.
Okay. We had Bruce, Stella. What are the others of you doing? Mara, what are you up to?
We're staying for the night, right?
Yeah,
At this point, that might be best.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing that.
Well, if things get too weird for me, maybe I'll wander off and call a god. Who knows?
Oh, wait, don't
Shit
do
can
that while
get
we're
crazy.
here. Yeah. Oh, shit.
Mara, you are pretty certain that you see something moving in the trees in the distance.
Do you guys see that over there?
This water's really blue. What?
No,
I'll,
not the water. Up in the trees over there.
I'll try to look.
Roll another perception. You
I
don't
guess
see
I'll-
anything.
I guess I'll look too, since I don't see anything either.
You see the trees moving.
Oh, the trees are moving.
And not like swaying, but like they're like moving.
Wait, we could maybe the trees will come with us. They're moving now, so
Just tell them to follow you.
problem solved.
Luthien, your senses of perception are very keen and not impacted by what's going on with the mushrooms. But you can see everyone else is like freaking out about stuff. Everyone's starting to do weird stuff.
I don't get fun hallucinations though.
You're like powering through them. Like you can still like you can feel like it taking hold. If you want to like embrace them, you can. But like you're keenly aware of what's going on with everyone else. You can see that everyone else is starting to like look at the back of their hands and stuff like that. if you want to embrace it, you can just kind of let it take hold.
Yeah,
I'm
Stella's
out
gonna
in
find a
this-
spider.
Silas is starting to have a conversation with Wrath, and not like usually how like a rider will talk to their horse. He's like having a conversation with it, except
That's
it's
normal
not.
day-to-day business for Silas, though.
Wait. We didn't ask if the mounts would get infected too.
I don't want to know, but Wrath is not taking that.
Would you rather he turn into like zombie fungus?
Let's find out.
Are you asking Wrath?
I am.
Oh no, I don't think so.
Good, because I don't know what that medicine will do to you if we had you take it.
I mean, I think he would have offered if I need it.
What if you got autism? You don't know.
Wow.
No.
Wow.
Just autism. What? No, don't do this to me. None of my
No,
D&D.
he's just gonna turn magnetic. That's all.
I'll turn magnetic?
Now we're all hearing the conversation.
He lifts his hoof up and tries to see if your sword magnetizes to his hoof. And then he just kind of shakes his head.
They're probably trying to put something in you so they can watch you at all times. Some kind of scrying device inside you.
Scrying spores.
Yeah.
Silas is never allowed to be high again. He gets bad ideas.
Oh god.
Stella's gonna find a spider and try to overcome her fear.
Roll me an investigation.
Oh, I can't investigate for anything. Let's see. Wow, that was really good.
Yeah, you know about nature and stuff. You find you want to find something that is kind of I guess you kind of look for like the webs and stuff like that. You look for a shrub. You try to find a sign of the web. You look kind of at the underside, and you find one where there is a web in there, and there's a little spider in it. Not too big. It's just kind of about the size of a quarter with all its legs. Yeah, you like pick it up and you have it in your palm.
Hi, friend. I'm so sorry to disturb you. I had a dream once where you crawled out of my mouth, and I didn't like that. But I get that that was a dream that the mushrooms made me have, and I have nothing against you or your many, many legs. It's just I don't like the way you walk, and I'm gonna try to be better about that. I try to pet the spider.
It's just kind of sitting there still. And then as you bring your other hand up to try to pet it, it runs down your arm. It runs like down under your elbow and like up around your shoulder and like behind your shoulder blade.
She tries to remain very still, but she's like shaking.
Roll a wisdom saving throw against fear.
11.
You're not like mechanically feared against it, but you're kind of scared about it. It's creepy and it's crawling and it's up between your shoulder blades. It could get in your cloak.
She just starts to cry. She's just next to this bush crying. And that's where we'll leave it. Eventually she'll just try to get the spider off of her, but right now she's just gonna cry.
Okay, Stella's crying by a bush.
Yep.
Anyone else doing anything else this night?
I'm just gonna keep trying to be the go-between.
It gets to the point where the conversation starts to break down because, like, he's asking questions and you're not conveying it properly to Halam.
Yep, I'm gonna keep going.
They're eventually gonna kind of give up. You know, it's like you've got a buddy who's no longer able to carry on a coherent conversation and is just kind of like, oh, can we go to bed now?
Wait, what was Luthien doing? I knew Luthien was powering through.
Oh, he's witnessing all of this. If he wants to like try to embrace the shrooms, like he can kind of like lean into it. But otherwise, he gets to watch all of you like freaking out. Not freaking out, but
I'm going to let myself kind of roll with it a little bit, but not let it get out of control, because mostly I just want to enjoy everyone else
Hey,
freak
Luthien,
out. But I want to see what they're seeing, you know?
Luthien, do you want one too? As you see Silas putting a mask on Wrath right now.
A mask? You know
Where
what,
did you get
Silas? Yeah, I'll take a mask. I don't care where you got it. Yeah, I'll have one.
God damn it.
okay, roll a perception.
Why do I need a mask when my face isn't real, Silas?
I feel like it's one of those masks from like like the Black Death, like the with the long beak.
Oh, the doctor.
Yeah, plague mask.
Yeah,
Plague doctor.
No. If you rolled poorly, you would see him strapping something like a Hannibal Lecter mask on you, but no, it's just like a cloth mask that he's fashioned out of like a rag. It's more like a bandana that he's like tying around you and making you look like a bandit.
This is not like your torn up underwear or anything, is it?
No, not that I'm aware of. Is
Risky.
it your
All right,
underwear,
whatever.
Wrath?
Well, you could probably tell from the smell.
Yeah. All right, how do I look? Is my mask on straight?
I think it's upside down.
Oh, okay. I want to like pretend to take off my head and put it on upside down and see what he does, but I'm not going to do that.
You're wearing a bandit mask made out of out of some boxers with like a Batman print on it.
Hmm. I'm the original Scarecrow. I'm just out here being weird as hell.
Mara, are you talking to gods?
Actually, I would probably call up James. Because that seems like a safer option to just ramble at my patron instead of calling random gods in the middle of the night.
Okay. Are you doing a commune?
I believe that's the one. Yeah, let me double check. Yeah, it's the commune with the 3 yes or no questions. And I would probably like step away from the group a little bit too to do this.
Okay. You can find a calm little place. You can either find a nice tree to sit under, or you can find you can sit down by one of the mushroom beds.
Well, I'm gonna go sit near the tree because it sounds like we're not gonna get many more of those.